I heard the clapping.
I heard the.
I believe that is our
Sorry.
cue. We're missing Mystic.
Oh no!
Oh,
The
no.
coffee swallowed her.
That's okay.
That's
We're
so-
back. We're back for another monthly minute.
I made it. I'm here.
Hello.
Hi.
She escaped.
Oh man, what a welcome. What a day.
We heard the clapping.
Oh, what a
Yay.
beautiful morning. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Monthly Minutes, our Q&A session / recap session with members of the cast of Utopia and myself, because they're fucking cool and I want to talk to them about shit, all right?
You're cool.
Today, we have Avis, aka Ziba, and we have Ed, aka Livy. What's up, y'all?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty okay. I've realized I see better, but it makes it look like I'm bored. But
With
I'm
your
still
eye?
seeing? Yeah.
Do you,
It's
man?
like,
Already?
Well, we are here to talk about episodes 44 through 48.
Oh, gosh, that's a chunk.
I know. We'll see if we get through all of them. It's okay if we don't. If you have any questions for the cast, for Avis, for Ed, for myself, feel free to pop those into the chat, and we'll answer them at the end in our Q&A session. If not, I'll just come up with questions off the top of my dome, and we'll go off those. Yeah, all right. So, episode 44, The Rule of Friendship. This is the episode where Avis starts in the Tower of Rocks in Myceria Spring.
Oh, yeah.
Godfrey is dropped by the Bigfoot. Ed and Scylla go to help him, and Morgus is still charmed in the center of the spring.
still on the good high. Just so
Still
happy
on
to
that good
exist.
high. Yeah. Braids Maya's hair.
Oh,
But I want to...
I
I know, right?
It's so cute.
But I do want to start with you, Ed, because we rolled for initiative at the top of the session, which I didn't mean to be confusing, but I also didn't explain. And really, that's just my go-to mechanic to figure out who goes first when the party's like really split.
Yeah.
And you rolled a natural 20. And I was like, God damn it. I need Godfrey introduced before I can speak to you, Ed. So hold on one second.
I was so confused. I was
He had things to say,
Wait.
Mystic. Libby was ready.
Yeah. So,
but
yeah.
gambling. It finally works in my favor.
The house said no.
Yeah. So, aside from that, like, once Godfrey was dropped, obviously you all were really aware of what was happening with him through role playing in the other session. But like, what was your initial like, what I have to do this right now when Godfrey was reunited with the party?
It has now been, I guess, confirmed that Livy is a Dampier, and I think for Livy, there was this almost ability in both the fact that even if he was a Dampier, and also the fact that he feels very responsible for what happened with Godfrey. He more than the party knew what was going to happen, and he was scared and he ran.
Yeah.
And he wanted to make sure he could take care of him. And also, like, there. And so there was two people who are like not there at that moment. He's like, okay, I can take care of this one person.
Yeah,
Maybe we
for
can do
sure.
this. And then I can find the other one, and then everything will be good.
You and Scylla like run over and try to give Godfrey healing, and it doesn't work.
Rough.
It was rough. And then just out of sheer irony, Morgus is next in the initiative order. So
The dice, they know who needs to speak.
he gets himself uncharmed as he's braiding Maya's hair, and there's like this awesome moment where he's like looking across the spring, like, I'm awake now. Can I?
Wasn't like Scylla trying to like read him? Like, do I know well enough to like get a sign here?
Yes. Yep. And then
Like
we,
the little rings.
yeah, they put the gold rings in her braids. I thought that was really awesome. And then we go down to Avis, and I definitely used the dramedy that I could in describing where you were, because I knew you had no idea where your character had end up after not being at the table for the session prior.
No one had any idea. It was just what happened to Zippo. I was gone. They're like, we don't know. And I was like, okay, good. So I left you alone with my character for like one day, and this is how you take care of it. Now you don't even know where you put it, but it's fine.
Yeah, like so. I don't like. Got like, we didn't realize it wasn't there until at the end of the section. It was like, oh wait, she wasn't there. Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Yeah.
Like losing
Yeah.
your kid at Disney.
Who are you gonna call?
What did you think about just that whole learning where you are, coming to being in a cage with a Bigfoot?
I loved it. I thought that was the best way to go about it. We're like, all right, yeah, confusion. I can do this. I am well in this mindset. Perfect. I think I don't remember playing it off a concussion. I like it. I'm sure good too.
Casual
I also
brain
like that
damage.
you would ask me, you're like, do you realize this? I go, no, this kid, we're embracing total confusion and chaos at this moment. I don't know who they are. Is it the Bigfoot? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta take them as they come, right?
Yeah. I was totally embracing of that. I was like, this fits. Okay. Barely any idea what's going on and just complete, all right, rolling with it.
Yeah. And then as the episode continues, there's a lot of role play of just like trying to figure things out. People up top get Maya to come over, have a conversation, bring Morgus over. You learn that she can transform not only into a child and like a middle-aged young adult-ish person, but also into like an older individual. And you learn some other little tidbits of just like lore and how her magic works. But is there anything that stood out in that little middle meaty section for either of you?
I was a little disappointed when I came up that she wasn't still a child because I wanted to try and fight her. And if she was a child, I feel like I could have taken her because I didn't really understand what she was in this scenario when I came out of that cave.
Could have taken a guy.
So if it was a child, I'll be like, yeah, I could take that kid. But at least she's like a young adult. When I came out, I was like, dang it. I feel like I have to show some respect now just 'cause I'm older.
I definitely think Maya might be one of my favorites.
Whoa.
I love her so much. I liked one of the reasons that I guess twists so it's because I've just been reading so much about Maya. Like we have like the little and like she was my favorite and I kept on reading her stuff, like really curious about her, and I was very delighted that I got to meet her so quickly. She's just such a fun character. I don't know. I like characters who act like children, like actually act like children with all of the brashness and brattiness.
Oh.
A really fun dynamic when you have like a bunch of serious like adult adventurers being like, okay, we have to do a thing, and a kid's like, why I've got like powers, you can't tell me what to do.
Yes. Yeah. You know, I don't know. In my mind, I don't understand why Maya is as enigmatic as she is, but like you're like not the first person to have just completely told me that they just fall in love with this NPC. Even people who have traversed like farther into the story.
I think
And
there's also
it's
sorry.
yeah, no, go ahead.
I think there's also she's this very fun character, but she's also very sad because she, unlike the other very, very important NPCs, has this very pure motivation of really just wanting to hang out with people. Like everyone was
Just wants
safe with
friends.
her. Like she didn't super hurt anyone. You have if she knew she was like emotionally hurting the people she kidnapped, she at least would have told people what was going on.
She did
But at
torture
the
those
same time,
Bigfoots just a little bit.
yeah, like she really does feel like a
But-
child for her because she has this mentality of a kid and she doesn't super understand what she's doing. Like she doesn't see the consequences of her actions, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
But she's also not just doing everything. You get the sense she's like a real person, but a very young person, and I like that.
Oh, that means I
And
did my
also like
job.
she's
Yeah, she's kind of a vampire. More on that maybe
She's
in the
like-
future. I feel like we just scratched the tip of the iceberg on that one. Yes. Well, cool. At the end of this episode, Godfrey looks off across the spring and sees a wolf, a black, large wolf, and a bunch of shadowy imps jumping around. And you've learned that gods can't enter other gods' spaces. It's something that you've learned throughout your interactions with Maya. There's this really great moment when Godfrey's like, why aren't they attacking? And Maya's like, it's me. She can't get in here. And then the party convinces her to let all of her little Maya lovers go. And you just leave them. What do y'all think happened?
Between
I
Maya
think
and the
it's a fight.
dog. I don't know. I think she's
Kinda.
fine.
Spoilers.
maybe we.
I know, generally, even at the time, I was like, she'll be fine. Like, they can't get in here. What are they going to do about it? Like, even if they get a fight, one-sided if they can't enter a domain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also, I don't know, I guess I didn't have a developed connection with Maya like some of the other characters did. Like, I was in a basement for a lot of the conversation, and then I was like, what are we doing here? Can we leave?
With Susan!
Yeah! Loved Susan. Susan, I get it. Like, I'd be a little worried about what happened to Susan. I still am. Like, did Susan find her husband? I hope she's doing okay. Maya, I don't feel like we really bonded at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of
Did
like,
you?
okay.
I forget. Did you even talk to Maya?
Directly, probably
Really?
never.
Mm-hmm.
That's really funny, because like I
Yeah.
feel like if you had never met Ziba would have like bonded with Maya the most.
But I didn't. And that's why I think Zara was kind of like, all right, I'm ready to head home. I'm really tired and a little concussed, and I think the stranger will be
the only thing I
fine.
have is like this bond for like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love the fact that you all are still just wearing that shit you found at the Knoll compound.
yeah.
Keeping that vest. Well, I'm not sure how good
Now
of a
that
condition
we're-
that vest is in any longer, but
Now
What's
that we're
hilarious
back,
is like, of course it's the
Sorry.
two PCs that don't wear armor. It's
Yeah.
just-
like, we don't care. This is not essential what we're wearing at the moment, okay? We'll be fine. We can afford armor. Expensive.
yeah.
probably actually wear armor, but also care very much about fashion.
And that's where episode 44, we got through that. We got through 45, actually. We talked through both of those. And at the end of 45, you all head back into town to see that it is destroyed.
Oh yeah.
And there's a Cyclops swinging a club around.
God, that fight with the Cyclops. Oh, God.
Are you sure yet another set of clothing?
I am genuinely curious. I know that Adam's in the chat listening. He mentioned that he remembered the Cyclops. Did you all honestly remember the Cyclops?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Nice.
From like the tower?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
I guess I didn't think though that the Cyclops would go for the city. You know?
Yeah, as a DM, the rationale there was Cyclopses are very dumb. He found a city and he was told to find a little girl.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just like, overestimated how smart a Cyclops was because like we've heard no rumors about there being any kind of person like that anywhere near a city. Like that's weird, and it would probably be somewhere weird as well. And I did not think they'd be that dumb, and we should have. So I was a little surprised when we got to the town there, but I was like, oh yeah, this is the Cyclops from earlier. That connection was still there. I was just like, why did you come here?
I was just
Like,
hoping
we were
that...
just with her. She's nowhere near here. What are you doing?
I was hoping
Yeah.
beyond hope that maybe we were fast. But, no. Way too much time had passed.
Was it described when we saw the Cyclops that like when he like stomped off in whatever direction that he was going towards the city?
Yeah, you all even passed him. Ziba, Livy, Morgus, and Scylla had to skirt around him as he entered the orchards to get back into the woods to go find Maya after Godfrey told them to leave.
We didn't think anything about that. We were just like, not a problem right now. We gotta go deal with this problem.
I think our consensus is like, can we deal in an army at the same time? And the...
All right, that makes sense.
Like, can we deal with the Cyclops? Maybe. But like, I definitely think we, like, especially, like, Livy was the only person who was fully healed. Sorry about that.
My HP was messed up for that entire time, so
It was very messed up. It was very
so messed up.
low.
I gotta fix it right now.
So like, most
challenge play right there. I wanted to play.
the
on
only
difficult
person who could
zone.
heal was Livy. I
Yep.
think.
Scylla could have laid on hands. I don't know if Scylla has other healing magics aside from lay on hands. I don't know what she took, but yeah. Well, the Cyclops battle itself was... I'm speechless. I don't know.
A lot
Oh,
happened
wow.
in that fight.
Godfrey went
Godfrey.
hog wild.
I think I was like Godfrey at the same time. Unhinged. Morgan was having a barbecue. I was rock wall climbing. I don't know. Like, everyone was just off their rockers during that fight.
But we met Ziba's ancestral guardians.
That I forgot I had for the entirety of level 3.
It made it.
I thought you were just like waiting for the right moment.
That's what it was after the first several sessions.
Mm.
And then I was like, oh, wait, I had this. Like, the last 2-3 sessions, it was, okay, now I have to wait for the right moment, because I forgot I had this for a while.
And also, why the dwarf? I have to know.
Oh, I don't know. You ever have those intrusive thoughts, and then
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I'm going to make this a thing.
Yeah.
That's what I went with. I was just trying to think of, like, what would be part of a half-orc family? Like, yeah, you're going to have humans, and you're going to have orcs, and you're going to have half-orcs. That's a given. But that's boring. There's got to be a few oddballs in every family. And so, I don't know. I think we had a few jokes already at that point about Morgus's height. And I was like, and it's also a thing that Ziba plays up. And I'm like, this could be a dwarf. There's going to be one dwarf that's notable. And that's the thing now.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure how it can be. I was just like, yeah, this has to happen. All right.
Yeah. We got that, and then Livy summoned a little baby Jack Russell.
Yes. I love thinking of new dogs every single time. He was the Jack Russell, that little derpy weirdo.
I love how with Morgus's spell going off, the twist on Tasha's, that was a game changer in that fight. Like, the Cyclops literally only got one attack roll in that entire time, aside from trying to grapple Godfrey out of his eye socket. That was
unhinged.
Yeah, it was just like, we're gonna make this thing frozen in time, and Zibra's gonna go for the knees. Scylla's gonna copy Zibra going for the knees. Livy's gonna bark and like whisper at him, and Godfrey's just gonna mutilate him from the inside.
Overall bad day.
None of us, on purpose, none of us like tell each other. We don't metagame. We try to just do our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we've somehow made the most sort of like, where it's like Morgus, and most of our spells are all about giving people either advantage or Scylla's all about like just like buffing and stuff like that, and just like Avis. Just like God, just all attack. And also the Guardians now, so it's like even entire strategy is just, we can't lose if they never hit us.
Yeah. I mean, I was afraid for, I'm not going to lie. I will put it all on the table right now. I was afraid for you all. You had not rested in a very long time. Scylla was completely out of spell slots. Morgus, I think, only had like one. Like, I think his Tasha's was literally his last spell slot. I could be wrong there. I don't know if Daniel's in the chat and can correct me. But that, and then the one hit of this club, this like lateral
took
swing.
Out. Who was that?
Exactly.
Was that me?
I think so.
With my half the HP I should have had.
Adam said he was scared.
I remember that hurt. I was like, oh, I can get hit by that again.
Yeah. Like, I was scared for you all. And I did not pull any punches. I don't pull punches unless I have to. Or I want to for story reasons. But yeah, I was scared. And then that Tasha's landed and y'all just like hacked his legs off and pulled out his eye and pulled out handfuls of his brain.
As one does.
And barbecue.
That's on there too. I do think if we weren't so morbidly creative, I don't think we would have won.
I also think Godfrey was just in a mood that day. I'm pretty sure.
The man can't take off. It's his skin now.
Oh yeah, that you learned that during that fight. What was y'all's reactions or thoughts about that?
Confusion. I, to be honest, did not know what was happening. I was like, am I not supposed to drink this now? Like, what the fuck is happening to him?
I was like, I thought you were doing a and I was like, I guess that makes sense, but like, this could be really valuable. This could heal you completely. Like, we don't know.
I was just scared at that point. What I had I think a better use of that actually, because I think that's what I brought in ancestral spirits, stuff like that. And I thought that was more important, like in turn order wise, but also just like, I was like, am I supposed to drink this? That same thing gonna happen to me. Because all I got to go off of right now is that man drank something and it didn't go well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, until we have proof. Until I drank that potion, who knows? Maybe it was the potion.
Are you gonna drink it?
Eventually.
Well, like, he couldn't. Potion. It was just he tried to take off his mask and like he dropped the potion because tearing off your face is apparently really painful.
Yeah.
New.
Cool. Well, yeah, you take down the Cyclops. And then yeah, we're getting through this fast. Do we miss anything y'all want to talk about?
I have questions, but I'm saving them till the end.
Okay, that's fine. Episode 47, sifting through the pieces post Cyclops battle, literally directly after the battle is the start of that episode. You all kind of get your bearings, and Morgus starts putting out the fire that he inherently created by a failed attack, a firebolt attack. Ziba tries to jump off the Cyclops and dislocates her shoulder.
That's how it goes. Me jumping off of things, not
The
my
most-
best days.
Really ends well.
The most hilarious thing about that to me, we didn't realize until later, was that you actually still had advantage on that roll from Livy's buff. And then you rolled it.
Right.
You rolled it, and you rolled a nat 20, but we were
Only
like,
the second time, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
we took it. I'm already dealing with the shoulder issue. We can't go
Yeah.
back now. That's
Yeah.
true. I would have perfectly landed that if I remember I had advantage. But then I was like, nope, we're too far in. I'm taking the failure. Because failures, can be just as fun as successes. And so I was like, this is what happened now.
Yep, exactly. And I want to touch on like the two like independent things, but I really love the fact that Avis, you were like, Ziba's just gonna go and try to find people's shit. Just gonna look through the rubble and like find valuables.
Yeah.
Like why did Ziba want to do that?
I guess that is a little bit of my player personal experience.
Hmm.
Like my small town I grew up in has been through some not good times in the last few years. A lot of disasters. And like when things are just destroyed and you've already kind of just figured out if everyone's okay or not, your first priority is also like, are they okay? Helpful to be like, do I have something to go back to, or do I have something that still kind of like connects me and keeps me here? And so I just thought I thought that also fits with his character just because of her whole thing with being missing and now that connection to the word missing and kind of her mixed feelings about it after her experiences in Winston. But also just, I think in times where you've lost what feels like everything, finding like one thing to kind of connect you back can mean a lot to people. And so I thought that it connected well with what Ziba wanted to do is help people. And that was something she's very actionable person. If you haven't noticed, it was very much like, I gotta go do things. I'm just gonna go do it. And that I felt like is an actionable way for her to be like, how can I help? Because she's not a healer. Really, I think she tried helping Godfrey with that once in a 10. It was okay at best. And that was kind of her way to do it while continuing to explore kind of her feelings of things associated with missing.
Yeah. You found a few things that I call out specifically, but one of them was the sapphire dagger. And I was curious if you caught on to my thread there when you found it, or if it was a surprise later on.
Nope. It was a surprise.
Nice.
Well, and I think when you brought the character back, it was like, wait, who are you? At that point, I knew. I was like, oh wait, yeah, this chick. But I was like, no, it's been days where she had one bad encounter with this chick. She's probably like, I don't remember you.
Yeah. And while Ziba's off finding things and Godfrey and Scylla are searching through the rubble just in general, I think Godfrey rolled a 3. They did not find anything. Livy and Morgus hang back around the battlefield. What was your thoughts around that, Ed, and like having Livy stay back?
Well, to look around, and I got a very low score.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just to look for people. Livy is very much a generalist. Like, he's very a literal jack of all trades, and I think he heals a little bit. He just kind of wanted to be good, potentially help the, while also not really getting the spotlight. He's just not a very character. When he went on this journey, he didn't think he was going to be. He thought he was going to discover other people's grand adventures and write about them. And now he's discovering he has this maybe magical destiny, and he's very confused and not happy about it. So he'd prefer to just tell help support other people.
Yeah. Well,
That was
Scylla
my
and
thought
Godfrey.
process.
Yeah, I love that. Scylla and Godfrey come back. They don't find anything except for that the Lying Woodpecker is still standing and all the folks are gathered out there because it's a little bit removed from the city. You all head over there and there's this moment where Philip is like, please stay in the home. Thank you so much for your help. Like, we are so grateful. And even though you all are just like beaten and battered and exhausted, everyone in the party, I think Morgus says it, but no one disagrees. It's just like, no, that's where the wounded people should go. And how can we help? And everyone just disperses throughout this makeshift camp, helping the people that they can, which for me was like a true testament moment to just like the overall good-naturedness of this party in particular. And it was like a heartwarming moment for me.
Can I ask something that's going to traumatize me, but I need to know where I'm going to have to write fan fiction about it?
You can write a fan fiction. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, go ahead.
So,
You can do both.
because we
Both
don't
is
know
good.
exactly like who lived or died. We know not everyone made it. But those people that we talked to in the tavern originally that had someone they really, really loved and was missing and they were all sad about it, if they died before they got to see their loved one return, I'm going to go cry myself to sleep tonight. But I need to know, was there anyone?
I can't answer that.
What? Why not?
Yeah, we never found them.
I would say my answer to that is like 75% of the town is dead.
So you told me I need to go cry.
Yeah, I guess at least one of them died.
Because after hearing like those heart-wrenching stories about how much they loved them and to bring them back and for them to never be able to reunite, that would kill me inside a little bit. Glad
I
Lupa
honestly-
doesn't know.
Never even thought about that. But that sucks.
All right.
Fuck Avis!
I'm gonna go write happy fanfiction about it, live out my dreams, and said everyone made their happy ending, okay?
You write it, I'll publish
Well,
it.
We thought this entire time we were so worried about the loved ones, like, not living, and we never even thought about the people.
They can
Oh,
come back
it's-
without a loved one to return to. I thought about that, but I was like, I don't want to be Ziba to be that sad right now because we have enough sad boys right now in the parties.
In the second Narnia book, when like they go back to Narnia and like everyone they knew, it's been like hundreds of years, and everyone they is like the country, whatever. That's what this feels like. Like their town is destroyed, their loved ones are dead. It's so. Oh my god.
Are you
been
flipping
thinking
me
about
off,
it
Avis?
for a while. No. I did it subconsciously, but
Well, yeah, okay, I'm gonna think about that for a while, but
me too. Good, okay.
Your dream.
You all need to be haunted by it now. Everyone watching this needs to be haunted by it so they can suffer as I have. Great.
I've already written 2 short stories about the lives of the NPCs in the world, so anyway.
That would be a real breaker. A whole romantic story, and you're like finally get they're like, oh, they're finally together and they're living out a happy life, and then nope. And that's how it ends. I would cry. I would hate that book.
What about the bear though?
Don't think about it, Livy. Don't think about it.
No, the bear was my. The bear.
All right. Godfrey goes and helps the paralyzed person only to figure out that they're asleep, and then Morgus helps with soup, and Ziba gives people their stuff back. Says she doesn't know Carling. And then
The best way to insult someone. Who are you?
Yeah, who are
Sorry.
you?
He didn't matter enough to like
You threw me
Fuck
in
my
a
life.
creek.
fill out.
And then Yeah. The night kind of comes to an end, and Livy, you're like, we got to talk. And Godfrey's like, right now? And you're like, yeah, motherfucker, right now. And so everyone goes to a private place. And there's this big, long discussion about how Livy is a Dampier. And there's some interjections about Godfrey and Godfrey's experience, but I think the most genuine part of that is Ziba learning about what a Dampier is and to like have this perspective change of this person who she like is coming to love and trust. It's really genuine.
I also asked a lot of maybe obvious questions to some because I felt like that's not a that was coming from going to a character who genuinely didn't know anything, and I thought it might be helpful to viewers who also had no idea what a Dampier was because some stuff in their campaign I don't learn about until we encounter it. I'm like, what is a Knoll? I don't know what a Knoll is. I've never played with a Dampier before, and so I find it sometimes helpful to as a character who is a little naive and ignorant to ask this question, just as clarification of what is this thing?
No idea how, because like at the heart, Livy is like a in his story, and he was so happy for it to like mostly avoid and just be like, what is a Dampier? Let me teach you about what a Dampier is. Save like blah, blah, blah. That was. And one of the reasons he chose at nighttime when everyone was distracted, when everything was in chaos, because he's like, if I don't think this, but if all of these people turn on me, this is the best chance I can get to run away.
Oh.
Gotta consider all the options, I guess.
Because, you know, the only person he had told is Morgus, and he's like, Morgus took it well. But,
were you secretly like, who knows, he might forget.
Well, like, Livy had figured out at that point, like, he had literally asked Morgus, do you remember? And also at that, like, that possible not to tell the other party members, but the person he at least wanted to tell was Ziba.
Mm.
He just didn't want Ziba to know. Loop. And it's because, like, you know, he realized he was like, he had never had this person, like a kid who relied on him, and he liked the fact that, like, while they had disagreements because they're very different people, like Ziba, he felt like looked up to him a little bit, and he didn't want to shatter this illusion. Like he wanted to pretend to be this, like, knew everything and could take care of her all of the time, and like could be there for her when she was upset. And he felt, he was like, I'm gonna break that illusion of myself, because like Livy does not have a self-esteem at the best of times. Like,
you thrown off by Ziba's reaction to that? Because I try always to have Ziba have a very reaction of, is it really bad? Do we really know for sure it's bad yet? Let's think of maybe it's a good thing first, and then we'll consider if it's a bad thing. You know? And so like when it came to it, and like you're like, I'm a Dampier. Like, what's so bad about that? Don't get to sleep. You can do more fun
mostly
stuff.
relief.
You can do that.
A lot of relief. This like, yes. Scared that because he thought she was either going to know nothing about it and like ask those questions, or she knew something, the thing, you know, not have a very favorable opinion, which is what most people. So he was totally prepared to like.
I felt like you guys were really trying to convince me it was a bad thing, and I was trying really hard to be like, but what if it's not? I was wondering how much I was throwing you off with that. Like, that's good to know. You're like, yeah, that's reassuring.
Yeah. For Livy, it's a very bad thing for like a multitude of. Like I think I've said this before. Like I have 3 pillars of like. Livy is a Scooby-Doo character, aka he needs to always solve a mystery. He thinks he's a mediocre person, but wants to be a good person. And oh no. Oh, and he is of everyone else's mortality. Like, he's very aware that could die tomorrow and that he does. And that was playing on a big fear of his. That on one hand, he wanted people to love and accept him because this was the right thing to do, and like he'd come to like all of you. But on the other thing, if you all liked this, and accepted this would mean that he'd grow close to where he was, and that made him very uncomfortable. A lot of thoughts and feelings, I guess.
Yeah, that's very fair. We end that episode with that big moment for the party, and everyone goes in for a long rest, at least those who need it. And that takes us to this week's episode, which is less of a downer.
Yeah.
Ziba hangs out with some kids, teaching them how to make caterpillars out of cattails.
I was also just like, in rough situations, what's the hardest? Childcare. So
Yeah.
I'll just take all the children so all the parents can figure out what the heck they're gonna do with their lives and where they're gonna go and who they need to take care of and who's dead and alive, and they can go deal with the adult things, and I'll occupy the children. Then everything's fine.
Yeah.
Have your cattails. Let me show you how to play with your caterpillars. Okay, your new pets.
It was really cute. I'm not gonna lie. And then that moment where Godfrey spends his time in like the time skip week in which this episode really takes place, helping out in like the hospital tent. And there's like this moment where like it's really early in the morning when kids wake up and you're like outside the tent.
It's gonna be
like,
some fashion. It's gonna be a little obnoxious.
So, but you're gonna have to be quiet. And you're like, why are you yelling at me?
Why am I in charge? I'm not gonna be loud.
Libby wakes up early and begins to write a song and play a song, which I loved. I loved that moment a lot. And then Philip asks him to go get a strange fruit from the kitchen.
My son, my true son. I'm so happy. We had talked about animal companions a bit, and I was like thinking about like what Livy would have, and nothing right with him. Like his stick is dog.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he's a nerd who likes to cat or like a raven. He loves crabs.
We had baby wolves at one time. Like immediately got rid of them. So I can't deal with that right now.
You did have baby wolves at one time, yes.
Like, we
And
can't handle
Olivia
that
also has a
responsibility
spider
right
that
now.
he just keeps. He has a spider.
You have a spider?
Yeah,
From
everyone
what?
forgets about.
From what?
Urchin background, baby.
No. Remember when we were exploring not the museum, the
yes, the temple.
he has a spider.
You still have it? How are you keeping that thing alive?
He just has a little class and he occasionally feeds it.
What do you feed it?
Some like if he can, sometimes insects, but berries and stuff like that.
Do spiders eat blueberries?
The gray ones after he's done with them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing.
No one ever questions me on this.
But yeah, you try to become friends with this avocado. The mechanics are the same for the avocado, no matter who would have gotten them. You get 3 chances to try to be its friend. There's a DC that you have to meet, and you just happen to be the person that got them first. And you rolled really low for your first 2 rolls, and I was like,
I was totally
come on,
accepting
Ed.
to be like, whatever.
It's not that big. I wouldn't even be mad about it. I'm not even mad.
And then you did it. You got Pit.
I think because
so
I was
excited
so
when it
resigned to
happened.
being like, this is not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god. Dice gods.
And then just for the sake of time for this episode of Monthly Minutes, let's skip to another super important thing that happened in this episode. So you get Pitt. There's an amazing moment where Zibba brings the kids over. I have already taken a snippet of this episode to put it on our Instagram, Zibba Avis, where you're just like, what does the frog say? That's right. All right, let's go. Because it's just so fucking funny and amazing.
The camp song?
No.
know
Was
the
a little
camp song?
green frog. Is that the
Yeah.
one?
With the little green frog that day. With the little green frog. That's all. There's a whole camp song about it. That's what I was referencing. I was wondering if anyone else had that childhood memory, if it was just me.
And then during the downtime of the week that y'all are there, Scylla and Godfrey go on a search for Morthos, the blacksmith of the town, who you know is the leader of the Carousel Court in Winston, but you have yet to try to seek out or talk to. And they find him in his rubble around him blacksmith shop, still making armor, because he says he has to fill an order for the king's army.
Yikes.
Yeah. Everyone goes back, have another long rest, and that's it. It's the end of the episode. Scylla and Morgus. Yeah, did I say that wrong?
Got 2 long rests and 1 episode beginning to end. Whoa.
Whoa.
Unparalleled.
Yeah.
I guess was it Scylla and Morgus or Scylla and Godfrey? My brain.
It was Scylla and Morgus.
Morgus, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Godfrey was doing things. That makes much more sense.
Yeah, Godfrey was at the hospital.
I don't know why, but whenever I imagine like Scylla with Godfrey, so I just auto assume.
That's fair. But yeah, that's it. The only other thing I want to talk about that we glazed over a few episodes back is when Zibba, you found all your missing person posters. They had made it to Winston.
Yeah. That hit hard. But I was like, I can't deal with this right now. We have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, great. Bring this all back right now while I'm thinking about all the loved ones who didn't get to return to their people because their people were gone.
I figured there were 1 or 2 ways you could take that. You would take it hard, or you'd be like, oh, cool, no one got to put these up yet.
You know, I respect that reaction. Be like, this doesn't even look like me. I gotta... that was an equal reaction, but I think it's because, and maybe none of you realized at the time, but I was thinking about all those people in that freaking thing that I cried about earlier. Did any of them actually get to return to their like loved ones that were looking so hard for them? Am I not gonna have anywhere to return to? I was spiraling deep in that moment, so it's just like, nope.
Yeah. All right. It's question time. Questions. Woo!
I have a question for Mystic.
Okay.
When you were making this campaign, like when you were in it before and that, were vampires and like that kind of aesthetic in the night god whatever thing always a part of it? And how did you react then when Livy said he wanted to play a Dampier? Like, did you think of like the connotations that racial feature would have or affect in the storyline when these things came up? And were you like, secretly like, oh yes, good.
I'll give you the very honest answer because I try to be honest. I didn't think about that at all. When Ed was like, I want to be a Dampier. I'm like, okay, cool, that's fun. But yes, both pantheons have existed for like 2 years. I did not change anything, and when we started playing this game, but yeah, I did end up thinking about it like 2 or 3 sessions before you all went to Winston, because that was like I knew that was coming. That was the whole arc there.
So you were ready for vampires to be like such a deal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I didn't. This is like one of my favorite parts about D&D. Like I had no idea how Livy was going to react to any of that. So I didn't like pre-plan any sort of interaction or any sort of like anything other than the fact that I knew that like Livy was going to be descendant of Maya, and whether or not he asked the right questions or experienced the right things to learn that was up to like the collaborative storytelling of the group.
God, I'm so glad I'm a descendant of Maya. Like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
This is like learning, like, great uncle, like an ancestor from the South, and you're like, please just have been born on nothing.
Question for both of you.
Okay.
What do you wish you could have done in Wimpston before it was destroyed?
Let everyone night's rest.
Maybe like tell them that we were probably gonna go check out something dangerous and to be safe. I don't know if that would have made me feel more or less guilty, but part of me is like, could I have warned them? Is there any way I could have warned them or made them more prepared? You know, is there anything I could have possibly have done to have predicted this and done something to lessen the loss? But
I think
maybe that's me more as a player. So like, is there anything I could have done? Someone's probably like, all right, guys, let's keep going.
I think I would have, if I could have. I don't know, because I feel like everything we did was very logical. On one hand, like visiting the
Date for
base.
the festival survive.
Like logically, I know dealing with the gnolls was like a waste of time. And
Did you know that? Did you know that though? Really?
I mean, guess that like being gnolls,
Mhm.
simply because I don't know. I didn't know. No. I'm like, well, there's a literal god that was sleeping. It's a way. Things are a little bit. And this is not Noel's usual MO. Like, there's like way foreshadowing on the Noel. There's way too much people think it's Noel's. It can't be Noel's.
Yeah. We have a question for Livy in the chat. Does Livy feel less guilty about burning down Philip's shop now that the rest of Wimpston was destroyed anyway?
Probably more guilty. Like,
Oh no, we're worse.
oh, that could have helped.
I mean, he was still gone, but
He was still gone, but like, you know, there were people who knew how to get into the shop and not burn it down. Like his wife.
possible.
I'm gonna convince myself that all of them got reunited because they were probably in the tavern, and the tavern's still standing. So I'm gonna assume that all of those people survived, and they were reunited. That's what I've decided.
Cool.
I moved away. They were just done with this bullshit.
Yeah, like, got some back, and he went outside of town to his little bee farm, and they're fine. They're living their happy bear lives.
Fine. They have a lot of pet bees.
Yeah.
Gotta tend
Great.
the bees.
The bees.
Any other questions? We got 5 minutes.
I was
Just
gonna
been
ask
spiraling for weeks about this.
I can't believe this, Avis. Why haven't you said anything?
Bottled up emotions. I don't know.
We had a whole nother play session. You didn't say anything.
I don't think I was ready to know the
Okay.
truth. Okay, I was not ready for
I
the
have a
answer.
question.
Yeah.
Also, I'm glad that you did it now because it was ultimate. But did you plan on Morgus losing his memories, or was that like, or was it? that had to
That's a
happen.
great question. I have to be sensitive about this because this is Daniel's territory, right? But what I will say is the memory aspect of Daniel's character was written into his backstory. We had not pre-discussed how that would come into play. So any role play after that moment with Galdi is purely Daniel's decision.
Okay. I
Yeah.
was just so curious if it was like how curious like how much are things discussed behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And now is the one that's been like haunting my dreams.
Yeah. Another question. Was Livy surprised by Scylla's reaction to when she found out he was a Dampier?
Yeah. He was. He totally expected her to be angry at him or like disgusted or scared, which are the reactions that he used to have towards him. Been building this up for like 40 years. And to have like the first reaction, I guess, to him being a Dampier, being like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna say it disappointing, obviously not, but just like it brain a little bit. He was expecting to like pitchforks and like screams.
Sometimes
A
I
little
get
bit
the
more-
vibe that Scylla is just as like naive as Ziba.
Oh.
Some of the stuff she says, and I'm like, all right, I don't know if I would believe that. About her like connection with my Shiria, just some of the way she accepts things. I'm like, just sometimes.
Yeah.
She's not told us anything. My theory, she seems very sheltered, or she used to be sheltered. It seems like on one hand she seems very jaded about certain things,
but she seems like she lived a very sheltered childhood at the same time.
Yeah, like she has a lot of experience on how to beat the and like mercenary work in general. Like she's very confident in the things that she knows about. And then she's just very like a little bit naive to the things she does not.
Yeah.
That's my impression of Scylla. Like absolutely badass, cool in the things she knows about, and then just doesn't. She's the ultimate phrase of like it's better to be thought a fool than be confirmed true. She just doesn't say anything she doesn't know about, so we always think she's cool.
Sometimes she says things that I'm like, you sure about that one? You think that's normal? Okay. Oh, all right.
All right, last question then from the chat. At any point, did either of your characters think about calling out to Galdi for help?
No. I'm just not all impulse, no thought. I saw find a Cyclops. I said, all right, find a Cyclops.
Yeah. He assumed they were on their own. Oh, I don't even. Yeah, it was impulse for him too. Just he was pissed.
At that point, the town was already destroyed. I feel like we would have had to thought multi-steps back to be like, Galdi, go protect this town. Zip is not capable of that much forethought. Oh, not good for me.
Yeah, I think this question is really interesting too because it kind of plays into the episode that will come out for Patreon subscribers on Friday and for everyone else on Monday. When there's a deeply religious moment between the party and the city members, and I think like the reactions from the party in that moment are kind of telling just in general around like what, when, how with just the gods in general, at least at this point.
Yeah, Livy doesn't see the gods as like religious figures. He sees them as like uber powerful beings that like no longer are there. He sees them as like we would view the Greek gods.
Mm-hmm.
But like maybe they were real, maybe they weren't. Document them.
Yeah.
He wouldn't like sit down and pray to, like you wouldn't sit down and like pray to Zeus, probably because Zeus is an asshole. But like you get what I mean. Or like Hades or whatever.
Yeah. Well, cool.
That, yeah.
Any last thoughts, questions, moments?
No thoughts, only chaos.
Ah! Oh, I was going to show off
I'm
something.
sorry.
Just because I want to. Because it's beautiful. So, I don't think it's a secret. Steph from Arcane Hollows, the handmade dice maker, is in my Wednesday group. She was also very inspired by Maya, and I actually have a full dice set
Maya themed
inspired by Maya. And they're really fucking gorgeous. Let's see if you can focus.
Heck yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. They're very pretty.
Whoa.
That dragon.
And
For the
they might come for sale or a giveaway in the future.
I'm like
Ooh.
mesmerized by that.
Ooh.
Oh! All right. Thank you for coming out. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see y'all next month. Woo!